Alright everyone, now that you have hopefully understood what is functions in Python, now let's move to the next topic, global and local variable. So this is local variable. Before we dive into the differences between local and global variable, let's first recall what a variable is in Python. A variable is a named location in memory that stores a value. In Python, we can assign values to variables using the assignment operator. For example, please remember this is called assignment operator, and the double equal to symbol is called equal to operator, equal operator. For example, x equal to 5 and y equal to hello world. So this is our variable. Now let's talk about local and global variable. A local variable is a variable that is defined within a function and is only accessible within that function. It is created when the function is called and is destroyed when the function returns. So it only accessible within the function and it is created when the function is called and destroyed when the function returns. On the other hand, global variable is a variable that is defined outside of a function and is accessible from within any function in your code. So this is the difference between local and global variable. So local variable can only accessible within the function and it can accessible from within any function in your code. So this is local and global variable. Now let me show you the code. This is the code x equal to. So now we will code it on Jupyter Notebook. So let's open your Jupyter Notebook and we will start coding. This is our Jupyter Notebook and here we will write our local and global variable code. So first give the heading local and global variable and then mark down it, shift plus enter. Now this is our heading. Now first we will create any variable, for example x equal to 6 and s equal to hello world. So as we know that x and s is variable of different data types. Now move to the local and global variable. So here is an example to help clarify the difference. X equal to 10 and make a function def my function and then inside the function y equal to 5. So friends, this x equal to 10 is global variable and this y is local variable. Now we will print y. Now call the function. So how to call function? My function and then parenthesis and then print x and then print y. So friends, this print y, this will cause an error because y is a local variable, as we know that, and is not accessible outside of the function. Okay, so execute this code. So it's so error, this will cause an error because y is a local variable and is only accessible outside of the function. So explanation of this code: in this example we have a global variable x and a local variable which is y here. We can access the value of the global variable x from within the function, but we cannot access the value of the local variable y outside of the function. In this example, we have a global variable x and a local variable y. We can access the value of local variable x from within the function, but we cannot access the value of local variable y outside of the function. Outside of the function. So the global keyword come into the existence. Now, what if we want to modify a global variable from within a function? This is where the global keyword comes in. The global keyword is used to declare that a variable is a global variable and should be accessed from the global scope. Here is an example: x equal to 10. Define my function. This is our function and this is our global variable, and the x value is 5. This will change the value of the global variable, and this is y equal to 5. This is local variable. Now call the function my function and then print the value of x and print the value of y. So this will print 5 and this will cause an error because y is a local variable and is not accessible outside of the function. So this is the global keyword. Alright everyone, now please let's take a closer look at this code. We will erase it. This is my eraser and okay. So this is global keyword code. X equal to 10 and then define a function my function and then global x and the value of x which is 5. This will change the value of the global variable x and y variable value which is 5, local variable. Now call the function my function, and then print x, and then print y. Friends, this is global keyword, and it will print 5, and this will cause an error because y is a local variable and is not accessible outside the function. So just copy it. Okay, now we will comment it because it shows error, and so this is the output 5. In this example, we use the global keyword to declare that we want to modify the global variable x from within the function. As a result, the variable value of x is changed to 5, and it is important to note that it is generally considered good practice to avoid modifying global variables from within functions, as it can lead to unexpected behavior and make your code harder to debug. So alright everyone, now that you have hopefully understood, let's take a closer look to this code also. Okay, now we will solve a question. So question, create a Python program to add two numbers and displaying the result using function and global and local variable concept. So now first what we do, we will create a variable result because this question we have to add two numbers and display their result. So how to add two numbers? As we know that in the calculator code, there is the calculator code. I think is it here. So this is our calculator code, and how to add two numbers. So create a function and then pass two values, which is parameters x and y, and then return the addition of two numbers, which is x plus y. Similarly, will use this concept and solve our question. So create variable result equal to 0. Now create a function def add numbers and then num1 comma num2, and now this is local variable sum result equal to num1 plus num2. Okay everyone, now what we will do updating global variable. Now global result and then result equal to sum. So here sum result which is equal to result. Okay, now take input from user. So user input. Now take the first number from user which is float type, float input, and then enter the first number. Okay everyone, so here we will take input from user and then again for we will take input from user number 2 which is number 2. So number 2 equal to float equal to input and then type something, enter the second number. Okay, now the last step, we will call our function. So call the function. So how to call the function? As we know that your function name, so the function name, this is the function name, add numbers, and then type here add numbers and then pass your arguments num1 comma num2. So this is arguments and this is called parameters. Now at last we will printing the result. Okay, so we will print result, printing the result, print sum of num1 comma and num2 comma is result. Okay, alright everyone, so this is the code of calculating the sum of two numbers with the help of our functions and local and global variable concept. Now we will execute our code. So give the input 9 and the second number which is 10. So the output will be 9 plus 10 which is 19. And note that the answer output will be in the form of float numbers. Alright everyone, now that you have hopefully understood this code also, so let's take a closer look at this code also. Okay, now the next question is Python program using a function to determine if a given year is leap year. So how to find the number is leap year or not? So this program defines a function is leap year that takes a year as input and returns true. If the year is a leap year and false otherwise, the user inputs a year and program uses these functions to determine if it's a leap year or not. So first def is leap year. So this function checks if a given year is a leap year or not, parameters and return bool. True if the year is leap year, false otherwise. So return year modulus 4 equal to 0 and year 100 is not equal to 0, or year modulus 400 equal to 0. This expression is used to determine if a given year is a leap year. Let me break it down for you. Year modulus 4 equal to 0 and year modulus 100 is not equal to 0. This part checks if the year is divisible by 4, but not divisible by 100 according to the rules of the Gregorian calendar. A year is a leap year if it is divisible by 4 but not divisible by 100, unless it is also divisible by 400. So this condition checks for the first part of the rule. Year modulus 400 equal to 0. So this part checks if the year is divisible by 400. Okay. If a year is divisible by 400, it is a leap year, regardless of whether it is divisible by 100 or not. The OR operator, which is logical operator, the OR operator between these two conditions means that if either of the conditions is true, the whole expression will evaluate to true, indicate that the year is a leap year. So in summary, if the year is divisible by 4 and not divisible by 100, it is a leap year. If the year is divisible by 400, it is also a leap year. This expression combines these rules to accurately determine if a given year is a leap year. So we will now write our next line code. Now user input for the year equal to int input and then enter a year. Now check if the year is a leap year using the function. Now we will use if else condition. If is leap year and then parameter is year, then print. Now guys, we will use f string. So what is f string? For example, look at this line of code. You can also write this line of code in this way. Print year comma is a leap year and then use comma. And you can also use this type of code. This is called f string. So friends, what is f string? An f string or formatted string literal is a way to format strings in Python. Introduced in Python 3.6. It allows you to embed expressions inside string literals using curly braces. These expressions are evaluated at runtime and then formatted into string. For example, this line of code. So the next line is else block. Else print f year is not a leap year. Okay, now this is the complete code, and now we will execute this code and see the output. So give the output input 1996. Is it leap year? Yes, it is a leap year. Now check for 2000. Is it leap year? Yes, it is leap year. Now check for 2024. Yes, is it also leap year? Now check for 2025. So it is not a leap year. Okay, and you can also check many years, for example 7000, so it is not a leap year, and 9000, so it is also not a leap year. So alright everyone, now that you have hopefully understood how to calculate leap year in Python using define function, def keyword or our functions, so let's take a closer look to this code. We will zoom the screen. Now give the heading here leap year and mark down it. So this is our code. So we will explain this code. I will explain this code. This program defines a function is leap year that takes a year as input and returns true if the year is a leap year, and false otherwise the user inputs a year, and the program uses these functions to determine if it's a leap year or not. I hope everyone you will understand. So as we come to the end of this comprehensive tutorial, I want to congratulate you on reading this milestone to your Python learning journey, and you have invested your valuable time and effort into understanding the intricacies of functions. A cornerstone of Python programming. But remember that learning does not stop here. Continuously challenge yourself, explore advanced topics, and apply what you have learned to real world projects. As you embark on your coding adventures, always keep in mind the power of community and collaboration. Don't hesitate to reach out for help when you encounter challenges, and consider sharing your knowledge with others to foster a supportive learning environment. I hope this video has equipped you with the knowledge and confidence to tackle projects with ease. If you found it helpful, please consider sharing it with your friends and colleagues who might also benefit from it. Thank you for joining me on this journey through functions in Python. Your support and engagement mean the world to me. Until we met again, stay curious, stay inspired, and above all, keep coding passionately. Wishing you all the best in your coding endeavors. Happy coding. So guys, thank you for watching this video. Till then, keep learning and keep exploring.